There's a lot of conversation about the Pillsbury property that's got a host of issues with it and a pretty storied history here in Springfield. And it took a local group of individuals to pull together, form a nonprofit, and try to take care of this property because it's been vacant forever. It's got a whole bunch of environmental issues that need to be dealt with. And it seems that government agencies were just doing what government agencies do sometimes, and that's take a long time to mitigate something that the community wants to see mitigated. But one of the individuals behind the group, Moving Pillsbury Forward, joins us now in studio after he presented to the Springfield City Council last night, and that's Chris Richmond. Chris, thanks for taking time with us this morning. How are you?
Oh, glad to be here. I'm doing well. Thanks.
Good to hear. It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on WMAY, and I purposefully didn't play a lot of what you had to say last night at the Springfield City Council meeting just because I knew that we were going to be talking right now. So a lot of people driving in this morning, what did you present to the City Council last night?
Right. Last night we rolled out our newly produced video. We worked with Storyteller Studios, produced a 6-minute video that fairly comprehensively explains the project and what we're trying to accomplish, in a nutshell, and includes a lot of good videography. We've had a lot of community input, folks wanting to see the site. So we allowed the videographers to come in, tour the entire site, and take some really good footage that wound up in the video. And I
think that's a wonderful resource for people to have because, like you said, people want to see what's going on with the property, but it's not safe for them, for the public, just to go out to the property. So having this video gives them at least an idea of what you guys are starting with. But what's the end goal here?
Absolutely. The end goal is to take this 18 acres, demolish the existing structures on the 18 acres, the former Pillsbury plant, and get it redeveloped for the community into something productive for the community, perhaps light industrial, perhaps housing, perhaps a solar farm. We're still wide open as to what it may be, but we know we need to get it back into production for the community.
We're talking with Chris Richmond behind Moving Pillsbury Forward, and you can find out more information at the website, Chris.
Yep. PillsburyProject.org.
Really simple, PillsburyProject.org, and you can find out more. But of course, we'll talk about funding here in a moment. If people want more information, if they want to ask you direct questions or the group direct questions, you've got an event coming up tonight that people should know about.
We do. This is the next in our series of public meetings. Tonight we're having our environmental engineer tell us what the results of the Phase 2 environmental analysis that took place throughout the summer. We have the final report on that. We can give the summary to folks tonight. They can ask questions about the project, about the environmental impact of the site, and we can also talk about next steps in the future for the site.
Now, we're not going to have time to unpack an environmental report on the air here right now. And I understand if you want to make sure that people get to this event tonight, but what can you tell us about that report? Is it good? Is it bad? Is it ugly? Is it going to lead to maybe years more of research and study, or can we just go ahead and dive in and start mitigating some of this stuff?
Turns out it's quite good. Really, the site's manageable. It tells us what we felt we knew is that we had a food-grade facility here that didn't utilize a lot of heavy industrial chemicals. And it also tells us that the U.S. EPA, when they did their emergency cleanup in 2017, did a really good job. So what that leaves us with is a very manageable site when it comes to the structures. The asbestos and lead paint issues that remain are certainly manageable, and soil contamination is minimal. So we're in good shape there. We're prepared to move forward with demolition of buildings.
So you can get more information. Again, the discussion is going to be happening this evening. Chris Richmond with Moving Pillsbury Forward with us in studio here with Springfield's Morning News at 8:15. Again, give us the details of the event tonight.
Yeah, tonight's event takes place at Wanless Elementary School. That's 2120 East Reservoir Street, right there just east of the Pillsbury facility, several blocks in Grandview. And the doors open at 6:30. Program starts at 7, goes for about an hour. Questions and answers. We're looking forward to seeing a lot of folks from the community.
Well, and there's been a ton of interest in this just because it's been kind of a thorn in the side of the North End for quite some time. And again, as we talked about earlier, sometimes government does what government does, and it takes a long time for them to actually get to address an issue. So the, of course, nonprofit group Moving Pillsbury Forward, picking up the ball and moving forward. Now, as a nonprofit, you guys don't have a ton of resources. So it is going to take some taxpayer resources to do something with this property. And you talked to the Springfield City Council last night about what maybe some of the federal government's role may be in this. Kind of lay out what may be in the pipeline here.
Right. We knew right from the beginning that this was going to be a $10 to $12 million project. We knew that we were going to have to hitch up all the horses to the wagon here and get everyone pulling in the same direction. And that includes local, state, and federal government. We've been fortunate to apply for a $2 million congressionally directed request earlier this spring. It's in the federal government pipeline there in D.C. We're awaiting just a few more signatures before that can be released, hopefully in the spring. We're also applying for a U.S. EPA cleanup grant. As we speak, that's being written. The final application will go in November. And again, by mid-year next year, mid to late year next year, we should be able to know whether we've got cleanup dollars available through that grant. We're working with the governor's office here at the state of Illinois, and of course we're working with our local government, city of Springfield, elements of the county, and others.
A lot of you out there grew up with the kind of skyline of the Pillsbury plant in your backyard, but the work that Moving Pillsbury Forward that they're doing could make that thing of a past that your grandkids are going to hear stories about but won't have to deal with. But of course, it's going to take community effort to do that. You could take part in those efforts tonight. There's going to be a discussion about the environmental study. And Chris Richmond with Moving Pillsbury Forward. Again, give us the details of where people can go and get more information on this.
All right. You can go to pillsburyproject.org. That's our website with all the information you might want about the project.
And tonight's event?
Tonight's event, Wanlis Elementary School, 2120 East Reservoir Street, 7 o'clock.
Very much looking forward to seeing all of this come together, and of course, being driven by the nonprofit group Moving Pillsbury Forward. Chris Richmond, thanks for taking time with us today, and we'll talk again soon, all right?
All right. Thanks so much.
It is Springfield's Morning News. I'm Greg Bishop on 92.7 WMAY, Springfield's News and